Well, I found it kind of funny that Ben thinks he has the power to decide who gets excommunicated from the conservative movement.
And the Israel First crowd is Ben Shapiro, Tel Aviv Mark Levin, and many others that want to put that ahead of America's interests.
Truly, Ben Shapiro, you and the midget horse that you rode in on. And I say that on behalf of the world.
Hello, folks, and welcome back. We're going to cut through the noise and tell it like it is. Folks, if you thought the conservative movement was one big, huge, happy family, you're about to have your mind blown. We're witnessing a full-blown Maga civil war, a cage match between America First crowd and the Israel First contingent. And let me tell you, it's messier than a toddler spaghetti dinner. Ben Shapiro, Mark Levine, Candace Owens, Steve Bannon, they're all in the ring throwing punches, accusations, and even some historical revisionisms that you'll make your head spin. Who's really fighting for America? Who's got our loyalties? And who's just trying to shut down any conversation they don't like by screaming antisemite? We're diving deep into the verbal slugfest that's tearing the right apart. Get ready, because this is going to be a wild ride.
That was funny. Okay, she also said some things that were not great. But right now, we're in the middle of MAGA civil war. So on the one side is Israel First, on the other side is America First. In the old days, Israel First was the undisputed champion. But as you saw in some of these clips, and we're gonna show you a lot more, America First is beginning to fight back, and it is a hell of a brawl. So Sharon, tell us all the facts, and I'll come back in and weigh in on who makes sense and who doesn't, and who goes too far and who doesn't.
Better than some of the best soap operas I've seen lately, Cenk. Here are the details. Turning Point USA's AmericaFest turned into an all-out bloodbath with conservatives tearing each other to shreds. The feud kicked off on Thursday when Ben Shapiro gave a fiery speech condemning Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Steve Bannon, Megyn Kelly, and Nick Fuentes. Let's watch.
And the people who refuse to condemn Candace's truly vicious attacks, and some of them are speaking here, are guilty of cowardice. Yes, cowardice. Even if it were true that other public figures were our best friends, our very best friends, that does not relieve us of our duty to speak out of principle and not to cover up evil or shy away from addressing it out of friendship. So no, Tucker Carlson, it is not an excuse to go silent on Candace's targeting of TPUSA. Or to mirror her lines of questioning because you love Candace personally. The same holds true of Megyn Kelly, a person I consider a friend. There is a reason that Charlie Kirk despised Nick Fuentes, and indeed even chided Dinesh D'Souza for debating him. He knew that Nick Fuentes is an evil troll, and that building him up is an act of moral imbecility. And that is precisely what Tucker Carlson did when Steve Bannon, for example, accuses his foreign policy opponents of loyalty to a foreign country. He's not actually making an argument based in evidence. He's simply maligning people that he disagrees with, which is indeed par for the course from a man who was once a PR flack for Jeffrey Epstein.
All right, tell us how you really feel. Over the past few days, Shapiro's rivals have hit back. We begin with Steve Bannon.
Let's face it, Ben Shapiro is the farthest thing from MAGA. Let's be blunt. He is a hardcore never-Trumper. He's a hardcore never-Trumper. When President Trump gets sent back to Mar-a-Lago, the very first individual that jumped on the Ron DeSantis train, the Israel First train, was Ben Shapiro.
All right, hold on a moment. Steve Bannon just dropped a truth bomb that a lot of people in established conservative media absolutely hated hearing. He's calling out Ben Shapiro and, frankly, a whole segment on the right for being Israel first. And let's be blunt, it's not an unfair accusation for many of them. Think about it. How many times have you heard certain pundits who claim to be all about American strength and sovereignty immediately pivot to defending every action of a foreign government, no matter what? It's like they have a script, and the first line is always, but Israel's our greatest ally. Yeah, we get it. Allies are important. But last I checked, my paycheck comes in American dollars, not in Israeli shekels. My kids go to American schools, not Israel schools. My primary loyalty as an American is this country. Bannon points out Shapiro being a never-Trumper who jumped ship to DeSantis is also spot on. Yet for years, these folks lecture us about conservative principles. Then when Trump came along and actually started implementing some of them, they recoiled in horror. Why? Because Trump dared to question the sacred crow, including some of the foreign policy orthodox that benefit other nations more than our own. The greater Israel concept he mentions. This not some fringe conspiracy theory. It's a real geopolitical aspiration for some, and it absolutely has implications for American foreign policy, our military spending, and our strategic interests. When we're talking about billions of taxpayer dollars, we have a right to ask if those dollars are serving our interests first, or someone else's. This isn't about hating Israel. It's about prioritizing America. It's about asking tough questions that the Ben Shapiros of the world don't want us to ask. They want to shut any debate by immediately labeling it as anti-Semitic or bigoted. It's the oldest trick in the book, and frankly, it's very stale.
He's consistently been against Trump, and now that President Trump doesn't back the Greater Israel Project. What is Greater Israel? It's not about Israel itself. It's about an expansionist Israel, an imperial Israel that Netanyahu and that crowd have thought up. And the Israel First crowd is Ben Shapiro, Tel Aviv Mark Levin, and many others that want to put that ahead of America's interests.
Then there was Megyn Kelly. She said Ben Shapiro cares more about Israel than he does about America. Watch.
I found it kind of funny that Ben thinks he has the power to decide who gets excommunicated from the conservative movement, which shows a willful blindness about his position in it. So it's a similar situation with Barry. None of this is about them calling me out for anything I've said or haven't said, or it's certainly not about Erica Kirk, as Ben tried to make it sound last night. It's about Israel. Those two are very ardent Israel activists, which is fine, but they don't get to dictate how the rest of us feel about Israel or what we do with respect to our friends and our friends' opinions on Israel.
What about Candace Owens? Well, she was not present at AmericaFest. Instead, she addressed Ben Shapiro on her show. She didn't just talk about Ben Shapiro, though. She attacked Jewish people as a whole. Listen.
Look at you, and I just think you are such a little worm. I could see you right now, probably. What can we get out to her? We're going to sue her into bankruptcy again, right? Sue her for every infraction, every word that I don't like, and every time my feelings are hurt. Because what you really believe in is Baal Berith. That's what your people believe in. You believe that you are contract lords and that people are not allowed to violate contracts or you will ruin them for years. You describe yourself as a Talmudic Jew, and I've learned what's in that Talmud, and I encourage other people at home to learn what is in that Talmud so that you know what Ben thinks of you, because he doesn't just hate me, he hates you too, white men. He hates all black people, okay? If he's following the rules of the Talmud, I mean, when I say hates, they think that we're animals, that they have a right to own us, that they have a right to make us worship them, that they have a right to lie to us, that they have a right to sue us and take everything that we have. Wake up and learn the true history of slavery, because that wasn't exactly a white men sport, okay? Jewish people were the ones that were trading us. Jewish people were in control of the slave trade. They've buried a lot of it, but it's there, and you can find it.
Whoa, hold the phone. Candace Owens just went from criticizing Ben Shapiro to veering into some seriously dangerous territory. Look, I'm all for calling out hypocrisy and challenging narratives, but when you start talking about Talmudic Jews and accusing an entire group of controlling the slave trade, you're not just criticizing Ben Shapiro anymore. You're stepping into muddy, treacherous waters of anti-Semitic troops and historical revisionism. And that, my friends, is a bridge too far. Let's be clear. Attributing the slave trade to Jewish people as a whole is a historic distortion that plays right into ancient vile anti-Semitic canards. Slavery was a global institution, a horrific stain on American history, penetrating people of all races and religions. To single out one group, especially with such broad strokes, isn't just inaccurate, it's irresponsible and fuels hatred. It's the kind of rhetoric that gets picked up by genuine bigots and used to justify their prejudice. And the Talmudic Jew stuff? Come on. This isn't about theological debates. It's about demonizing a faith and its followers. It's the kind of dog whistle politics that we should all reject, regardless of our political learnings. No matter if you lean one way to the other, we don't need any kind of bigots or dog whistle politics or anything like that anymore. You can disagree with Ben Shapiro. You can even despise his political position. But you don't get to go and resurrect centuries-old smear campaigns against an entire people. That's not fighting for America first. That's just promoting division and prejudice.
All right, well, you won't be surprised to hear that Nick Fuentes had a similar response. We'll put it up for you. Stereotypically classless decision by Ben Shapiro to use Charlie Kirk's stage to disavow half of the American right by name. Jews like Barry Weiss think this is courageous chutzpah. Everyone else rightly sees it as tasteless and self-serving. The reign of Zio-conservatism is over. So, Cenk, parts of this were interesting to watch anytime MAGA is in this internal civil war, sure. Other, though, sections of it and this kind of speech, incredibly difficult to hear. What does it mean, and who got through on the messaging?
Yeah, so there's two different things here. What do we think, and what does the right wing think, right? So what do I think? I think that Fuentes and Candace Owens go way too far. So Fuentes says that it was classless. Yeah, maybe so, but coming from a guy who thinks Hitler is really cool, I'm not sure that you're the right judge of class there, right? Let alone a million other things he says that are terrible, but that would have done it in and of itself. So Candace Owens, what is with the Talmudic Jew? And put that crap aside, guys. I know tons and tons of Jewish people. I don't know any that were like, let's get our secret Talmud plan out, right? No. So Israel does so many maniacal things. You don't need to go beyond that. There's this whole, like, the Mossad's not calling random Jewish people and going, okay, you guys in on it? All my Talmudic Jews with me? No. There's no need for that crap, and it is crap. You found some bad things in the Talmud. I got bad news for you. Read the Bible, read the Quran. You're gonna find oodles and oodles of death and murder, and we are better than the other ethnic tribes, and God slaughtered the other ethnic tribes for us, etc. Old Testament, New Testament, Quran, everywhere, okay? So it's out of bounds. To be fair to Candace, the midget horse you rode in on was hilarious. Okay, so fairest show in America. So now, the Ben Shapiros of the world would say, well, okay, then you weighed in on it. Candace is wrong, and so that means she's wrong about everything, and no one should ever talk to her, and we should put her in a cave and seal it. And no, she can talk to anyone she likes, and people can agree or disagree with whichever things that she says. I think when she goes out of bounds like that, it hurts everybody, and it most certainly hurts her credibility, right? But does that mean that by definition, the things she said in the past about Israel or whatever is wrong? No, we all agree the sky is blue and the grass is green. That doesn't mean that we have to disagree on that if we disagree on other things. Okay, but that's easy, guys. And Nick Fuentes wasn't at TPUSA, and Candace Owens wasn't at TPUSA and AmFest. But Shapiro basically is saying, if you even talk to anyone that I have deemed to be anti-Semitic, now you could tell that he's lying and it's all about Israel, because he then also takes it to Tucker Carlson. Now, Tucker Carlson hasn't said the things that those guys have said. In fact, he has said now literally dozens of times, being anti-Semitic, judging anyone based on the religion they're in, the race, the ethnicity that they're in, and not as individuals, goes against his core faith, and that it is deeply wrong. Now, I know, and there's a lot of good folks on the left who believe, no, he's lying, it's a trick. He's telling everybody to be good guys because he secretly wants them to be bad guys. Okay, well, that trick is executed so well that millions of his listeners have heard now dozens of times, be good guys. I don't know when he pops out of a cake, right? And goes, supplies, I was just kidding. Maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. But to cancel him and that no one should be allowed to talk, no. You don't get to tell us who we talk to and who we don't talk to. But we've almost gotten used to it. It's actually an absurd conversation to begin with. Like, when did we ever come up with the idea of, if I don't agree with something that person has said, no one should ever be allowed to talk to them ever again? That's honestly just an Israel first idea. And the reason that they came up with that idea is there's so many things to criticize Israel on. So what do you have to do? And if you start a conversation on Israel, it's super obvious, right? They go, oh, we're a special ally. You ask them, what does that mean? They have no answer, so they say anti-Semite. And then you say, okay, what do you mean Judeo-Christian heritage? In the 1940s, it didn't look like we had that, right? Anti-Semite, wait, hold on, I'm trying to have a conversation. Shut up. Everyone should shut up, otherwise they hate Jews, right? Oldest trick in the book. Ben Shapiro and Mark Levin have used it 2,000 times. And now everybody's sick of it. That poor old pony, that one-trick pony. They beat that midget pony to halfway, 3/4 way to death, and then back, and they Lazarus them, and then they beat him again to death. Everybody's an anti-Semite. So everybody's sick of hearing that crap. It's not true. It's used to bully Americans into submitting to a foreign country. So that's obvious. Look, I feel uncomfortable agreeing with Steve Bannon, but he came around to our position. We didn't come around to his position. So he now, Steve, you didn't know about Israel first before? Well, now apparently he thinks, okay, I'm gonna start talking about it now and make that distinction. No problem. And so, okay, last thing on what I think, and then we'll move to the MAGA guys. So when Ben Shapiro was giving that speech, he said, you have an obligation not to cover up evil. Yeah, that's why Tucker's speaking out against Israel, right? So thank you for making our case for us. But as he's doing that, he's like, hey, look, 20,000 children murdered, evil. And Ben Shapiro's like, shut him up. You have an obligation to speak against evil. Shut him up. Shut him up about our evil. And when I say our evil, Ben Shapiro, I mean, you'd have to be brain dead to not know that he cares more about Israel than America. I mean, does anyone really think that? Like, oh, Ben, he really is looking out for America first. Oh, Israel, oh, he happened to hear, but is that it? Oh, that's one of the foreign nations, right? Oh yeah, I guess they're an ally. They're one of our allies. It's important. No, everybody knows. Ben, you can keep calling everybody an anti-Semite. You can call 350 million Americans anti-Semites. We all know, dude, you're not very good at hiding it. That's the only thing you care about.
And there it is, folks, the blunt truth laid bare. That's the only thing you care about. This isn't just a throwaway line. It's years and years of frustration from an average American who feels like their concerns are being ignored in favor of foreign trade. The speaker here is hitting on something deeply resonant, the perception that for certain figures in the conservative media, their loyalty to Israel seems to eclipse their commitment to American interest. Think about the priorities. We have massive problems here at home, a porous border, crippling national debt, a struggling economy, decaying infrastructure, and a fentanyl crisis that's disseminating communities. Yet the airwaves are often dominated by discussions about conflicts thousands and thousands of miles away, with an almost religious fever to defend one side, no matter the cost of American taxpayers or strategic objectives. The accusation that anti-Semite is used as a bully tactic, that's not a conspiracy theory. It's a lived experience for many who dare to question. You raise legitimate concerns about foreign aid, about military entanglements, about the influence of foreign lobbies, and immediately the anti-Semite alarm bell goes off. It's a conservative stopper, a thought-terminating cliche designed to shut down debate and shame anyone who deviates from the approved narrative. It's a classic bait and switch. Instead of engaging with the substance of the argument, is this policy good for America? They pivot to character assassination. You must hate Jews. No, I don't. I just want my government to put my country first. It's not complicated. It's not hateful. It's patriotism.
The only thing Mark Levin, Laura Loomer, et cetera, care about. Then he called Nick Fuentes an evil troll. Ben, we're calling people evil trolls, are we? Takes one to know one. So, okay, that's like his whole career is being a little evil troll. Yeah, America should serve Israel. All right, brother. Oh, no, trope. Okay. No, but it isn't about, see, and the way that they hide behind all Jews is also extra vomitous, right? You say, hey, Ben Shapiro, you like Israel too much. Doesn't say anything about my friend Dave, right? And you were trying to get America to follow, and he's like, no, you're saying that Dave and Ben and Jason are saying it. No, I never said that. You're saying that because you want to hide your disgusting pro-genocide policies behind good Jewish people who never signed up for it, okay? So, all right, now more importantly, what does MAGA think? This is turning into a rout. Like, it started as like, wait, can we say something against Israel? It feels wrong. It feels like we're gonna be fired at any minute. And then it started to grow and grow and grow and grow. And now it's an inferno. And so I feel like when I talk to people in the establishment that they live in a fantasy land. They think Ben Shapiro canceled Tucker Carlson at TV USA and it's already over. He doesn't exist anymore. What they don't know is Ben Shapiro got his ass handed to him there. Like they live on a completely different planet where Israel is the good guys and angelic, and the whole country, the whole rest of the country are filled with vicious haters of Jewish people who are like, let us attack, but they won't let them because they're the forces of good. I mean, they're hilarious. I've never seen people so detached from reality. And those are all the people pretending to be objective reporters and politicians who represent us. It's become a big joke. But the question is, yes, but all the people in power are still, almost all of them are Israel first. So what happens when an immovable object runs into an irresistible force, right? And on the right wing in America, we might soon find that out because Israel is an immovable object. They will not move. You must serve us, otherwise we will ruin everyone who criticizes us. And MAGA, when they get ahead of steam, they're usually an irresistible force. So I don't know who's gonna win that battle.
Well, that was a heavy one, folks. This MAGA civil war isn't just about personalities. It's about fundamental questions of loyalty, priorities, and what truly means to put America first. The stakes are incredibly high, and the battle lines have been drawn. What do you think? Are these criticisms fair? Is the anti-Semite label being overused to shut down debates? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to this channel for more unfiltered commentary, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. We need to keep these conversations going because if we don't, who will? Until next time, stay vigilant, stay informed, and always, always put America first.